when the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to place a bet on a fourth-quarter comeback, you can stay in on the action. And if you're looking for bigger payouts, you can combine your live bets into same-game parlays. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, we haven't done our FanDuel bet of the day in a while, but if you guys win some bets on FanDuel, send them in. We'll start featuring some winning bets on the show again now that hopefully we found a template in Social News Desk that will work moving forward. But we will start with the Cavaliers today, guys. Another nationally televised contest tonight. 7:30 TNT against the Orlando Magic. And when you look at the Magic's front court, they have size across the board. Steve, if you want to take 287 here full, you have Paolo, who's 6'10", Franz Wagner, 6'10", Jonathan Isaac, 6'10", 6'11". They drafted Tristan da Silva. He's 6'8". They have Anthony Black in the backcourt, who's 6'7", plus their bigs, Bitadze, Wendell Carter Jr., both 6'11".
They just show it off.
7
You know
foot.
everybody's name.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Listen,
this is the kind of lineup that the Cavaliers acquired DeAndre Hunter to try and counteract.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know if Darius Garland's going to play, so we can take him out of the equation for this, but there's a chance the Cavs start a lineup with Strus, Okoro, and Mitchell in their backcourt, who are all 6'4", 6'5", and under. So my question to you, and Bull, I'll start with you. Is this the kind of game that the Cavaliers, and I'm going to use the word unleash, that's probably not the proper word, but is this the first time we'll see the Cavs kind of unleash DeAndre Hunter for these kind of specific matchups where their opponent does have tremendous size across the front court?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do anything different in this game. I mean, they just played Memphis, which is a really big team too, no?
Big up front, not necessarily big along the wings in the same way.
I see what you're saying.
In the same way Orlando is.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, maybe he plays a little more, but I don't know. I think Kenny Atkinson has a good feel for this team, and DeAndre Hunter's getting plenty of time. I don't know that he's going to play significantly more minutes against this team. I mean, where are they? I remember last year, Orlando was not a very good offensive club, and when Banchero didn't score, they really had a hard time scoring.
They stink offensively this year.
Yeah, like most of those guys, they're big, but they're not offensive players, right? So, they can't take advantage of the Cavs' lack of size on defense as much because they're not good offensive players. Obviously, Banchero is, but you're going to deal with him with your big guys. So I don't know. I'm just not that worried about it. I don't think this is necessarily needs to be a huge Hunter game.
I think it's one of those situations where, first of all, with that graphic you put up, is that the starting lineup? Because I know Franz, I know Paolo.
No.
Just guys they can bring out.
But Suggs is out, though.
Yeah, but they'll have a real center. There was no center in that
Okay,
lineup.
so to be honest with you, I think that we will see more of DeAndre Hunter in this game for the simple fact that I think Evan Mobley goes up against Paolo, but we need somebody for Franz because Franz been balling. I mean, that dude been scoring. He like 27 or better.
We hate him here in Cleveland.
No, it's his brother.
That's his brother
hate.
who's
We
out.
hate his brother.
Yeah, right, we hate the brother.
But Franz been balling lately, even more than Paolo has been for the last since they came back from All-Star break. So I think from a size standpoint, you have to have Hunter on him because of the fact that the guy is 6'10". And he's the closest thing we got. That was the reason why you brought him
Jared
here.
Allen can't?
No, because he plays center. Franz handles the rock. So it's a big difference there.
Yeah,
you're not about to have – he will probably make Jared Allen look bad. So I think that for that situation right there, you will need to use DeAndre Hunter more tonight just for Franz because if you don't, he could go for 27, 28 points.
The only reason DeAndre Hunter ain't playing right now is in the starting lineup is because they're trying to massage the shoulders of Max Strus. They don't want to do him like that. His boys is out of here. They got rid of Niang and Karis LeVert. He been starting since he came back. Now you don't trade the dude. He come in, get all the minutes. I got to come off the bench. So look, if they're trying to just slow play this thing and say, okay, listen, We're going to keep that Max Drew start. But as we get closer and closer to that date where we got to start playing playoff basketball, where you're going to see lineups like this, and you're going to see guys that are dynamic on the wings, you no longer have the luxury of saying we're just going to massage your shoulders, because you in playoffs every possession counts. So you can say, oh, it's about who ends the game. No, it's not. It's about stopping people every possession if you can. And DeAndre Hunter in the starting lineup gives you the best opportunity to punch one of those teams in the mouth and not let people get going.
So you think he's going to play more tonight?
I definitely think he's going to play more tonight. All right, so
that's the majority opinion, so I think I've been swayed here. Tyvis brought up in particular a good point on Wagner. I wasn't thinking of him as a ball handler. Shows that I don't know enough about the Orlando Magic. Good job out of you,
he's
Tyvis.
like that. Him and Paulo is like the main ball handler.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of him as a big guy. So Jared
because he's 6'10", but no, that's what makes him and Paulo so good, because they're 6'10", but they are like the ball handlers. And Paulo, some people call him a young Melo. They say like he play like bully ball like Melo. So
does he not pass also?
But Carmelo's 6'8".
First of all,
he's 6'10".
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's Carmelo. I'm just saying his style of play, like he like to bully like undersized people like Melo did. That's what I'm saying. So please don't, because I know how y'all get. Oh, you just can't. He's Carmelo. That's not what I said. He bullies people like Carmelo, so Evan has to play him tonight.
I never saw one player dominate college basketball more than Carmelo Anthony.
I was watching some of his old March Madness highlights the other day. He was a monster.
You mean Cooper Flagg ain't doing that?
Nope.
Kevin Durant didn't dominate college basketball.
Carmelo Anthony just was
Do you know who had a sneaky, incredible one season in college? Michael Beasley at Kansas State.
What you mean, sneaky? Michael Beasley.
What you talking about?
Michael, do you know what Michael Beasley did at Kansas State?
No, I have no idea.
So it's sneaky then. Don't come at me saying it's not sneaky.
Michael Beasley.
But that's more recently. Until this year, I haven't been that into college basketball.
Michael Beasley is easily one of the
When
most.
Did he go second or third in the draft?
Second.
He was one pick behind Derrick Rose.
Hey, this dude.
What are you talking about?
He might be one of the most skilled basketball players ever.
Beasley? And he could
wasn't
do it
good in pros.
Which makes no sense, because he could do everything. He literally did everything.
Yo,
so why was he not good in the NBA?
Some people can't conform to a system.
Because
mental.
Mental.
Real quick before I give it back to DeAndre, what do you think? Or what do you remember Michael Beasley's stat line being, G? In college?
I remember Michael Beasley getting like 26 and like 11.
Yeah.
Close. 26.2, 12.5 rebounds, shot 54% from the floor and 39% from three.
It was a monster in Manhattan.
Freshman.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
So you think Hunter's eventually going to be in the starting lineup?
Yes,
I don't.
I don't either. Mike, what do you think?
I think it's about who they play. I think it's about the matchup. If it's the Celtics, 100% he's in the starting lineup. If it's Milwaukee, no.
I need him to be, and the reason I think so is this. I get that you want Strus to be in their lineup, but ask yourself, what does Max Strus do better than Hunter?
Shoot.
That's not true.
But it's not?
No. Look at the 3-point splits.
There are things he does better, but it's shooting. I would say it's different level of shooting, but they're pretty similar in terms of shooting.
So it's
flow of the offense.
It's a push.
Flow of the offense.
What does that mean?
Like
Tyvis is right.
He in rhythm. Like he knows how to run the sets and do all that, go through the screens.
So
that's his game.
That's experience. So he's been in the system playing with these dudes for years.
Listen, stop trying to put Hunter in the starting line. It is fine. First of all, the starting lineup is overrated. Strus is gonna play the first 3 to 4 minutes. Boom, they're gonna call timeout. Hunter's gonna come in the game, and there it is.
Here, let me tell you.
And on top of that, you got a natural chemistry with Ty Jerome. Obviously, those two out there together, it's been great. Why would you mess that up?
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna get to this. Don't act like
the star lineup is overrated in the NBA.
Do not act like this is my problem. Y'all ain't got you have no choice to come out here and be like, oh, we're better than the Celtics, but we're not playing all the best people. Stop it. If you want to beat the Celtics, you better get your mind ready now.
Wait a minute. Before you go, I said against the Celtics, he's in the start lineup. I said it depends. It depends on who they play.
Well, Mike, let me ask you this.
There we go.
So G thinks Hunter's going to be in the starting lineup for the playoffs. Tyvis thinks only against the Celtics.
It's matchup. It's whoever they play.
I think it is matchup dependent, and here's why. The one thing that Strus does better than Hunter with the core 4G
pass
is he is a better passer. That
flow of offense.
But Hunter works best when he has space to drive. And the Cavs do have spacing, and do not misconstrue me saying they don't have spacing when both Mobley and Allen are in. But when those two are in, the spacing is not as prevalent as it is when Hunter's at the 4. And I think in the perfect lineup for the Cavs, or not the perfect lineup, but where they're at their best, Hunter's actually at the 4. Because he can shoot, he can take bigger guys off the dribble, and he wants to attack. He's really good at getting to the lane. We've seen in his 5 games already with Cleveland, his self-creation is better than I even thought it was in Atlanta. He's shown things that probably were there the whole time. I just didn't watch enough Atlanta to really understand and grasp. But he's really good at getting to the paint. He leads the Cavs in free throw attempts per game. Why? Because he can drive, attack, and draw that contact and finish that contact. It's harder, and there's less space for him to do that when he's with the 2 bigs, which is why I think, at least for now, Kenny's very comfortable bringing him off the bench with Ty Jerome as best friends, as college champions together, to lead that second unit when they take out either Darius or Donovan and whatever big they take out, because it allows more spacing for those two to be creators as opposed to fitting into the rest of the flow of the offense. Now, when they play a team like the Celtics, I do think DeAndre has to be in the starting lineup because you can't afford to get down 13-4 in the first 4 or 5 minutes like they did in the first matchup
run you
against
out
Boston,
the building.
Right.
where they hunted out Max Strus in those switches.
Right.
So there are certain matchups where I'm all for
But that's
putting DeAndre Hunter in the
Are they
starting
really
lineup.
the only team that you're worried about that situation?
Yes.
I'm worried significantly more about Boston in those situations than
Yeah.
I am anyone else.
Who are you next worried about? Oklahoma City? Memphis?
No, to be honest with
You talking about in the Eastern?
No, whatever.
To be truthful,
Finals?
it's the Magic. The Knicks can
The
play
Magic?
The Knicks can
A
play big
4
lineup.
with Jalen Suggs
Yeah.
out there, the Magic will worry
So
me.
against the Magic in the playoffs, who's starting?
Hunter.
Okay.
I would go with Strus until I realized
Hunter.
I had to change it. Then I
But the Magic are not a good offensive team, so I don't think
McNuggets
you're
won-
worried
McNuggets-
about
Magic are the
They gonna
worst offensive team
ISO.
in
They gonna
basketball.
ISO Strus,
Bro.
and it's a wrap.
Hey, listen.
It's a
In
wrap.
the playoffs, there is no prisoners. They gonna look at. They say, "Who's starting?" Him. And on top
Yeah.
of it, Bull, you gotta remember.
Yeah.
If they switching everything, think about the difference between switching with Darius Garland
Yeah.
and Strus and Darius Garland and Hunter.
Yeah.
But the
listen.
difference with the Magic, though, G, real quick,
Yeah.
is you can switch and you get help off the Magic because they can't shoot threes.
Right,
No
that's
one on
the
their
thing.
team
That's a
can
big.
shoot threes.
That's
So,
a, that
with
is a
Orlando,
big
you
point.
can live with some of those
Yeah.
switches against Boston. It's a lot more
I
difficult.
will say, whatever the starting lineup is, Hunter's going to play 30-plus minutes in the playoffs.
I agree. Yeah.
Every game.
100%.
Right? Unless
Yes.
it's a blowout or something like that. But like in any competitive game, Hunter's got to be right up there with the core 4 in terms of minutes. I mean, he's going to play at worst the 5th most minutes behind those guys.
And I'll give it a benefit of the doubt like this
Yeah.
too, though. I don't know, and I would love for you to ask them this question when you go to the Cavs or when you're at the game. Maybe DeAndre Hunter's been coming off the bench all year, right?
Yeah, maybe he's comfortable that way.
Maybe because he started the first game he played, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, he started because Strus was out.
okay,
Right.
So
He was not going to start if Strus played that game.
Right.
Kenny
So-
told us that from the get-go.
So maybe they've already had a conversation, and he said, "Look, I'm not. I prefer to come off the bench. I'm a little more comfortable that way."
Right.
Right. Maybe he said that. So I don't know all the. I would love for you to ask him that question, but in terms of when Boston game come around, we don't care what you're comfortable with. You going to play, dog.
Gee, Kenny's been asked that before. Like, Joe Varden actually asked him on, what was the last game? Sunday
Okay.
before the game against the Grizzlies.
Uh-huh.
He said, I know for now we got 6 weeks before the end of the regular season. Do you feel confident that Strus is going to be your starter for the rest of the regular season? And his answer was the numbers with Strus in the starting lineup are incredible. And it's a big enough sample size that it's not just, it's 3-4 games and we've been really good. It's a big enough sample size that we feel comfortable with that lineup. But nothing's set in stone. And I'm still trying to figure out our rotations, which goes back to kind of the way I think about it as they like Strus in the starting lineup. He fits with the core 4 well. He doesn't need a ton of shots. He runs the offense, and he's a really good facilitator within the offense, not necessarily as a come off a pick and roll and pass to a big, but just a guy who keeps the offense moving, constant motion, which allows other guys to get open. And Kenny said nothing's set in stone. So if we have to change because of a certain matchup, we could pivot to DeAndre Hunter and feel really comfortable about it.
If they continue to have success in those first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, whatever it is, he's probably going to just keep sticking with it. It'll be interesting because was it Friday they play Boston?
Now, that's the game I'm really curious to see how they go.
Yeah.
I am too.
I wonder what, I'm assuming since it's still the regular season, he'll start
Is
Strus on Friday.
is that
and then-
game home or away?
It's in Boston.
In
It's
Boston.
the
That's
final
it.
game
TD
of the
matchup.
series.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
They got to win that game.
No,
I'm sure y'all we'll talk probably more later in the week, but Evan, you come on now.
That's the only team
Evan,
now,
Chris, KP got at you now. I need you to, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's really, at this point, the only players you're worried about against him, and they're important, is really Porzingis and Giannis.
Yeah.
I don't care about Embiid because they're done, don't matter.
Yeah, I don't know what
but
they got
Giannis
going on.
and Porzingis are the only that's the final hurdles for Evan Mobley, are playing well against those two guys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see what
Evan could bang with Giannis.
I mean, he can.
Listen.
Porzingis
The way Evan been playing this year is I'm fairly confident that Evan can go up against anybody.
But the last
The
game
Porzingis, it caught him off. That was the first time he ever played.
That was his worst game of the year.
But that was the first time he ever played
That's
Porzingis,
true.
though. Like,
That's
he
true.
didn't know.
No, Porzingis was in the game earlier this year.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
And he was just coming back,
He had just come back from injury, I think.
Yeah,
played
like
a lot.
2 days.
Porzingis is
But
different.
still, it does feel like the final hurdle for him.
Yeah, if he,
Yeah.
I need to see it. I got to see it.
I'm not worried. I've always said it. I'm not worried about Donovan Mitchell against the Celtics.
No.
I'm not worried about Evan against the Celtics.
I
The
am.
person I'm worried about
Darius?
against the Celtics is Darius Garland.
Because of the defense.
That matchup that
Yeah.
Drew Holiday and Derek White be giving him buckets, and they be shutting him down low key on defense. So
let me go look at
How
the
did he
last.
play? I know
what
the first
Darius
game Darius was
had?
bad against those guys.
The second and third games, he was much better. The first game, 3 of 21.
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
Yeah, I remember that
21.
and
He
he's
is,
had a great year. He's had a great year,
Yeah.
in my
Garland
opinion.
is TBD tonight, though. So I want to ask you guys real quick before we
Yeah.
move on. If he does not play, I do not
25
expect him to
the
play.
last game.
But that's my guess. I have no inside.
Yeah,
I
right.
would not expect him to play tonight.
Yeah.
We saw what Ty Jerome did on Sunday in his absence. We talked at length about Ty Jerome yesterday.
You said it was a
biggest
league
clip of the
pass
day yesterday.
moment.
It was a league pass moment from Ty Jerome. Tyvis, you weren't here, so let me start with this. Let me start with you on this. If DG does not play and Jerome has to play 25, 30 minutes again in his absence, do you expect him to give another, maybe not 26, 5, and 4 performance, but another starting caliber point guard performance from the Cavs' proverbial sixth man right now?
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Earl the Pearl for calling this because he's seen this before anybody ever did. Ty Jerome, isn't he mixed?
I don't know.
We've been trying to invite him to the cookouts.
I think he's mixed. I think McNuggets told me he's mixed. That has nothing to do with this conversation. It was random.
Ty is mixed, by the way.
But anyways.
Oh, it definitely matters now. Because he's doing all this. Look, he's doing all. He got.
But he a quiet guy.
Ty Jerome's parents are Mark Jerome and Melanie Walker. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters. His mother is white American, and his father is a biracial African American. So
Okay,
his father.
his father's mixed.
Yeah.
So he's a quarter black. That's what they call
Yeah,
him.
he got good hair. He got good hair. But hey, listen, now
got good hair.
Now I know why the swag is here. Now I know why he's
By the way,
swag.
both his parents played in college.
I am
wow.
totally confident in Ty Jerome going out there being the one or running the point because I think he's exactly what you want in case of an absence of Darius Garland. He's a guy that's comfortable with running the offense. This is a guy that can score at a high clip, and when he's high, he's like a J.R. Smith. When he's feeling it, like it's nothing you can really do. And he can be streaky at times, but man, he gets that crowd and that team going. And that's what you need. That's what makes him so great off the bench is because when things aren't going well, you need that spark. Obviously, if he has to move into a starting role, obviously Donovan will probably handle the ball more, but I think he's earned the trust from everybody on that team that, like, listen, I can bring the ball up, I can run the floor of the offense, I can score, I can defend, I can do all these things. So I'm totally fine with Ty Jerome. I expect to see nothing lower. At least he's at the minimum, I see 15 points a game from him when he's in the starting role. So I'm good with Ty Jerome. Darius can take his time.
Man, look, you're not this. Once again, this ain't a luxury. I want to repeat. I know we got this nice shiny record, but when it gets to these playoffs, these teams gonna ratchet this intensity up, and players is gonna step it up. Superstars step it up a little level. And for you to win a championship, you're going to need your role guys to step up. So this ain't a luxury. Ty Jerome has to play this way. He has
Oh, yeah.
to. He has to play this way. I'm glad he's getting these minutes right now because I want him used to shooting. I want him used to being confident that when he come in the game, he understand what the assignment is, and he's gonna come in and be comfortable with that type of assignment. So, yeah, I need him to get his life together, which he's been balling. Dean Wade, I know he just came back. He's been shooting bricks lately. Dean, come on, get back in the rotation. Isaac Okoro. I see you've been going to the rack a little bit. I need you to get that jumper back together.
Yeah,
he
missed a couple.
You've been shooting bricks lately. Like, don't act like we could just ride this core four into Boston and these other teams, and we just going. Yeah, Mobley still has to be the. Just because we say Evan Mobley has to be the best guy does not mean that gives everybody else an excuse. Nah, y'all gonna have to ball out. Like, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Tom got.
And Okoro better get it together because that green dude just sitting there. He got his shoes laced up.
Right.
And if you keep missing them shots,
I do have one of the guys who works as a producer on my podcast is from New Orleans. He's a Pelican. He's a Pelicans fan. I asked him about Green. He doesn't think much of him. He's a big college sports fan, so he thinks Okoro's better. But yeah, he's close enough. You're right. If Okoro doesn't get his act together. Here's the thing, though, G. To your point, I agree with you because the Cavs are where they are, which is the best record in basketball, not because of one guy, two guys, or four guys. It's because of an entire team effort.
Yep.
Who's having a bad season for the Cavs?
Nobody.
Isaac Okoro.
Is he having a bad? I mean, he is what he is. I don't think he's having a bad season.
He just got injured.
Before he got hurt, he was shooting like 40%.
Right, but overall for the season, everybody on the Cavs is either playing better than expected or as expected. I would say, right? There's nobody. Not one guy on this team
I got a challenge
that is playing worse than you would have expected.
I got a challenge this
Maybe you could argue Okoro, but I wouldn't say that. I think he's playing exactly how I expected him to play. And Strus playing like I expected. Guys, and that's got to continue. You can't, when we get to the playoffs, when the lights are brightest, we can't have half the team slide backwards. They're going to lose.
Showing them graphics. Showing them graphics. Look at the bench scoring between the Celtics and the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Cavs have 8 bench points, and you got the Celtics getting 45, 50
they're
points.
going home.
You got Pritchard and them dudes coming off the bench. They have to outplay those guys.
Right. And their guys are battle-tested in the playoffs.
So I'm excited these couple games. I like the size that the Magic have. They're going to be physical. And then I like that you got to go from that to the Celtics. We're going to see. These are the games that we are looking forward to seeing what the Cavs are. Because if the Cavs can put – this is about just letting the Celtics know, hey, listen, y'all can't lean on that championship pedigree. You're going to have to figure this out this year.
I have – to go back to the initial question, I have total faith in Ty Jerome. Like, I wouldn't want him to be playing 35 minutes a night, every night. But when he has to do it every so often – I believe in him. He's given you every reason to believe in him this year.
He's the new, and we talked about the comparison between that 16 Cavs team and this team, and he's like the Delhi, right?
But even better.
But he's better than Delhi.
Yeah.
Remember, I don't know what Delhi. I don't know. I mean, Delhi I don't know. He got reincarnated as somebody else when he was playing. He was playing outside of his mind. To your point, that's not the same with Ty Jerome. People I feel like Ty Jerome. That's in him. That's that's his
Ty
game.
Jerome has the Delhi effort.
Yes.
But he's more talented.
Yes.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's one of the best stories in the league.
I still don't.
Where is he on the 6-man ranking?
Ty Jerome?
Second, I think, or third.
No, he's not close.
No, you said in terms of Vegas.
Yeah, not close.
Because
who's the favorite?
Peyton Pritchard and DeAndre Hunter 1-2.
Okay.
And then there's a mix of guys, but it's a pretty steep. They're all in the same.
You said he was third.
I did. Went back and looked, he's technically fifth, but there's a giant drop off between two.
Yeah,
I got
and they're all jambalaya.
So Peyton Pritchard is favorite to win the 6-man of the year award?
Yes.
Okay.
Now look,
we're gonna talk a little bit about Cavs awards later in the show. So.
Yeah, Hunter can win that award. He just need to
Keep playing off the bench.
That might. Is there a bonus for that?
Now all of a sudden,
I'm
he
thinking like,
okay with
PG.
if he got a bonus, I could understand him going to wait,
Yeah.
no.
There's
You know what's
bonuses
wild?
for DPOY, MVP, stuff like that, so there could be a bonus for that.
Did you guys see what's his name on Memphis, who's Defensive Player of the Year, maybe?
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson. So obviously Wemby was going to win Defensive Player of the Year
Right.
before he got hurt. Jaren Jackson Jr. now is when he's eligible after this year, I believe, for a max extension. If he wins Defensive Player of the Year, I think he can make up to like $100 million more, maybe more than that.
You know, Mobley is in the same situation.
If he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, or makes All NBA, and we can explain that.
Well, but he just signed an extension though.
But in all these extensions,
yeah.
it's not a dollar amount; it's tied to the percentage of the cap. Oh. So if Mobley wins DPOY,
So his contract goes up.
yes, it's funny. The Cavs actually would love Evan to finish. They want him to win.
It's actually better for the
It's
Cavs
better
for
if-
him not to win the
or make All NBA.
That's bad.
Where
If
is
he wins
he?
DPOY, the percentage of his cap hit goes from 25% to 30% of the cap.
That's bad. That's a bad. The NBA needs to fix that. We shouldn't be
Wait
rooting
a minute.
against Evan Mobley winning.
Are we talking about that right now? Because I think that
No,
No, we'll get to it
Okay.
later. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just, Jason wrote an article on it. It's actually worth. He wrote it last week.
Jason
the Cavs-
working, man. It makes me
The,
smile.
the Cavs
Back in his
really
bag.
would love for Mobley not to win or make All NBA, which is crazy because they would love for him to do it.
That's just so
but it's
stupid.
a backward system.
It's
so
it's a terrible system.
we'll
Go
talk
ahead.
to more Cavs in a sec. Tonight, by the way, we're doing a live Cavs post-game show after the Cavs Magic game on the YouTube page. Jason will not be with me. He's at the Combine. He'll be talking to some NFL coaches, scouts, general managers. He'll probably be housing 3 porterhouses at St. Elmo's and eating the spicy cocktail sauce.
Place
He will not
overrated.
be with us, but we will have a live instant reaction stream to the Cavs Magic game tonight. So make sure you guys tune in. It will start as soon as the final buzzer blows. So about 10 o'clock will be my guess. We'll go for half an hour. Make sure you guys tune in, hang out, and let's talk some Cavs tonight.